Hello and welcome back to another Daily Top 10's Top 10 video. Video games have totally evolved over the past few decades, crawling out of nerds' basements and slowly taking over the general public. Whether it's online gaming on consoles, avoiding work with some sneaky solitaire, or Candy Crush commuting, the video game is firmly established in our culture. However, like with all fun things, not everyone has the best time with them. Their addictive nature and the high levels of interactivity mean that players can get much more involved in them than they're really meant to. So today, we're looking at the top 10 video games that ruined people's lives. We have a very simple video game for you. If you manage to press the red subscribe button, then you win all our videos, past and future. Okay, ready? Go! You win! Well done, you must be very proud of yourself. Number 10. League of Legends. This is an online battle game where your champion takes on other players or computer-controlled characters. It has been a huge success since its launch in 2011, with over 60 million players a month. The League of Legends World Championship even has a $2 million prize for the winners. So it's no surprise that it's very addictive and it's caused many kids to drop out of college. Things are even more intense for the pro teams who often implement a no girlfriend rule so they aren't distracted from the game. Although this does seem to take a video game much too seriously, you do remember the part where we said you could win $2 million, right? And that's just one tournament. Number 9. Championship Manager. But long before the huge popularity of online battles and fantasy games and Call of Duty, the true relationship destroyer was Championship Manager, now known as Football Manager. You took control of a football team and began to buy and sell players and pick tactics and formations. As the game evolved, you ended up negotiating advertising deals and dealing with the press. The irony was that players would often do as much business administration in the game as they should have been doing in their actual job. It's even been cited in a number of divorce cases. Number 8. World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is the godfather of these huge multiplayer online games. For many players, it was more than just entertainment, it was a place to make friends and even fall in love. But this replacement of real life led to some pretty messed up stories. Rebecca Colleen Christie was sentenced to 25 years in prison in 2009 for neglecting her young daughter so severely she died of starvation. Number 7. Second Life. Second Life is a bit of a misleading title because it implies that the players have a first life. Unlike all our other entries, the makers claim that this is not a game, since there are no actual goals or objectives. You basically just do the same stuff people do in the real world, but with a bit less rain and without that weird pain you sometimes get in your elbow. You know the one. But it was all very real for Amy Pollard when she caught her husband cheating in the game. To rub it in, the husband then got engaged to his cyber fling, both in the game and in real life, despite them never having met. Number 6. Candy Crush. The multicoloured candy shapes have become a regular part of our morning commute, whether you're playing or stuffed into someone's armpit watching as more people cram into your carriage. And although you might occasionally buy a spotty ball thing to complete a level that's driving you to despair, you've got nothing on Sally Ann Turner, who stole £1,000 from her disabled mother to spend on the game. Pretty sweet. Number 5. StarCraft. Mothers have been telling kids for decades that the computer screen will eventually make their eyes go square, and although cubic vision has still not occurred, they were right, you shouldn't spend too long playing a game. A 28-year-old South Korean died of exhaustion after playing StarCraft for 50 hours. He had had a couple of short breaks to go to the toilet and have a brief nap, but it wasn't enough to stop his body completely shutting down. Number 4. EverQuest. Sean Woolley was found in front of his computer with the multiplayer online fantasy game EverQuest still playing on the screen. This would hardly have been unusual since it's where he spent almost every waking hour. Except this time, it had become too much and he had shot himself. His mother claimed that the game had dragged him in with its addictive design, ultimately leading to his suicide. There was a site called EverQuest Widows for people who felt that they had lost their partner to the game through addiction, although not as tragically as Mrs. Woolley. Number 3. Pokemon Go. When Pokemon Go launched in 2016, it led to a worldwide mania with thousands of people who would normally not even leave the sofa rushing around the streets hunting invisible creatures. And although anything that gets people exercising should be encouraged, the game did lead to some serious injuries. One woman was hunting in her local woods when she tripped and fell. By the time the ambulance arrived, she had hypothermia. She had also damaged her ankle, elbow, neck and back. Got to catch them all. Number 2. I Get This Cool Every Day. I Get This Cool Every Day is a very simple point-and-click adventure made by just one guy, David S. Gallant. The point of the game is to remain polite and follow the law while trying to get details from a very stupid cooler. If that sounds like your job, well, that's the whole point. So how did such a small game ruin anyone's life? No one's getting addicted to this. Well, David Gallant got interviewed by the Toronto Star newspaper, and the article mentioned he works for the Canadian Revenue Agency. So, the game was seen as a criticism of the government, and a Canadian minister even came out against the game despite never having seen it. Gallant was unsurprisingly fired. Number 1. Legend of Mir 3. Two friends, Kui Cheng Wei and Zhu Kao Yang, had a pretty great day playing Legend of Mir 3 when they finally got a rare weapon called the Dragon Saber. However, who needs enemies when you have friends, as Kao Yang secretly sold the saber to another player for $870 in real actual world money. He lost his friend and his life when Cheng Wei stabbed him to death in his sleep, having to use a kitchen knife since the Dragon Saber was no longer available. Thanks for watching another Daily Top 10's Top 10 video, and remember, it's our duty to entertain and yours to subscribe.
Hey there! Did you like that Top 10 video? I know you did. You just watched it. Now you're here with me. So go hit that subscribe button so I don't have to whack you in the noodle. You don't want Sammy here whacking you in the noodle, because you know what happens to your noodle when Sammy hits you? Bad things. It's picture an egg. You remember that? It's gross. You don't want that. You'll get it all over the computer, and you might break the internet. Anyway, subscribe. Make sure you like the channel, all that stuff. You've been on YouTube before. Just do what you know you need to do to see more videos. And hey, if you're in need of a hitman, go down and leave a comment for me. Maybe we can connect. You can give me some money. I can give some violence to someone that you don't like. All right? I'll see you around.